After visiting the $43,000 range late last night, Bitcoin has seen lower lows for 5 consecutive days. But after receiving a strong bounce at the 21-day moving average, is there still more downside in store? Or are we about to witness gains flow down our legs like a midnight surprise after eating too much Taco Bell? And with the DXY breaking free and actually setting now for the first time a higher high in the last few months, is this a warning sign we should not ignore? They say you can't have a dump without a pump, but who says you can't do both at the same time? Diddle Snatch, and after calling for a retracement as Bitcoin was at 48,000, late last night Bitcoin did dip its little toes to the very teensy top of the $43,000 range. But the big question is, was that the end of the retracement, and is $50,000 next for Bitcoin? So you guys new channel, make sure to like, subscribe, turn this just miss absolutely time-sensitive alerts, and without any further ado, let's dump on in. So if we take a look here, guys, we want to start off here. So this entire potential falling wedge, keep in mind, was basically a part of this breakout that began on, it looks like July 23rd. And remember, back on July 22nd, we had talked about this falling wedge just moments before explosion. Whoa, is Bitcoin right now mere moments from a break above this 2-month resistance level? So after immediately exploding out of this, basically we hit the objective of this breakout, had a little bit of a pullback. That's when we hit 37, and then we continued up here, and that is basically how it formed the structure of this rising wedge. So basically now at this moment, after the last 5 days of setting lower lows, Bitcoin is now at the very tippy top of this final resistance range, which, keep in mind, we talked about breaking and concretely holding this. So pretty much kind of like a flip of resistance support, a situation like this. That is basically an ultimate confirmation of, yes, 50K is very likely. But there's quite a few things we want to look out before we really jump in here. So first off, I think it's very important we talk about ADA, which I think has absolutely gained the excitement in just the last couple of hours, specifically as it may have hit all-time highs. No, it came within a couple cents so far of hitting all-time highs. But based on how quick it's moving right now, if it did hit all-time highs by the time this video is uploaded, I would not be surprised. Okay, especially just a few weeks away, a lot of people are excited for smart contracts on ADA, so that's one thing. But I think that has taken a lot of the excitement today as Bitcoin and Ethereum, not doing bad. Ethereum is bouncing at its 21-day, and same thing with Bitcoin. Bitcoin did bounce at its 21-day, so as expected, we did get a bounce there. But the big question is now, is this truly a reversal? Because, guys, let's be honest, it's still too early here. We're going to talk about Bitcoin a lot, but again, one thing I'm just really excited about is that when altcoins are able to kind of break free from Bitcoin's grasp, which at this very second, ADA is, right? So sometimes some of these top alts, like 2 weeks ago, it was Ethereum we were talking about, and right now it's ADA breaking free from Bitcoin's grasp. And again, as I've been saying, over the next few years, I think this is going to absolutely continue. And many people believe Bitcoin will be flipped. I don't necessarily see why not. And again, even if it's only temporary, that's still part of the argument. The point is, there is growing excitement. And yeah, a couple weeks ago, we saw a lot in Ethereum, especially with EIP 1559. And now we're seeing a lot with ADA as well. Remember, these are the top 2 altcoins right now, Ethereum and ADA, right? Number 2 and number 3 in total market cap. Both have really good news for the rest of this year. And honestly, pretty exciting stuff. That's why Bitcoin's my biggest holding, but then Ethereum and ADA are my 2 next biggest holdings. So with that being said, there's the big question now of if Bitcoin is done here, because we had a little bit of a burst, and we're going to be taking a look on some of these short time frames, but we broke our lowest, our most recent lower high. Okay, we still have a lower high right at about 47.2. And then it's right at about 48,000, which after that, I think obviously we would continue a breakout because that was the local high there of about 48. But here's the thing, as we said, at this very second, you see us running into that resistance right at this top box. This could still very easily roll over, and I know a lot of people are very, very bullish at this very second, so people most likely do not want to hear that, but we need to put our emotions aside because technically, there hasn't been anything to invalidate this breakdown just yet. We did dip our toes into that high $43,000 range. At this point, very possible that could be the extent of the pullback. However, I still don't personally think with Bitcoin at this very second, we're in an extremely bullish level. But with that being said, even on the 6-hour chart, you can see there was this falling wedge here that's only about 5 days long. That once we did break this trend line here, which Bitcoin was getting rejected at, once we did break it, that's when we saw that very quick burst from about 45.5 to about 46.5. And you see, as soon as we hit that next Linguini resistance right here, we got a little bit of a move down. But overall, yeah, we had this little micro bullish pattern that has broken up to the upside. And more importantly than anything, we got to bounce at the 21 day, which is absolutely expected, okay? The big question is now, is this bounce at the 21 day going to be able to keep this momentum up? Not to mention, are we going to be able to concretely stay above the 200-day moving average right now? So we still have some pretty big tests. Overall, we need to see Bitcoin, I mean, obviously we want to see it reclaim 47, and especially if we end up over the next day, if we end up coming back down to 46 and not holding there, okay, keep in mind, we could absolutely enter another leg down. So what we want to do, obviously, is hold 46. Okay, we're above it right now. We want to hold this. And ideally, we want to break and hold 47 as well. But as you can see, at this very second, we haven't even broken back above 47 just yet. And with that being said, it also is expected as we got to close above the 21 week last week, and now we're just bouncing kind of right there. But again, short term, I still think it's pretty up in the air at this very second, and this could very easily turn into a continuation of the downtrend. Keep in mind, I mean, most likely we could end up fulfill the breakout target of this, which would be a little above 47,000 actually. But we also want to avoid a potential head and shoulders pattern with a right shoulder potentially being developed with a move like this. If we fail to set a new higher high around that $48,000 range. So keep in mind, people are pretty excited right now. I am too as well, considering my ADA bags are absolutely exploding. But for Bitcoin here, we do need to be a little cautious. Remember that DXY has just done something interesting. The SPX, let's take a look at that as well, because I think that was pumping a little bit earlier. Okay, so it's kind of trapped in between the 50 and 21, so nothing too bullish yet. However, keep in mind, every time we've come down to this 50-day moving average, over the past pretty much all of 2021, we've bounced and gone on to set new all-time highs. So let's be cautious here. If, eventually, let's say maybe this 50-day does get broken eventually, boy, oh boy, prepare for that. Okay, just something to be aware of. I don't see it happening right now, but we are going to be seeing a test here probably within the next few days if we fail to get back above this 21-day. Wow, so to be honest, not really too much happened with Bitcoin other than getting that 21-day bounce. But again, keep in mind, the ADA pump is very exciting. And in fact, no, okay, we came extremely close. I thought we might have set a new all-time high here. But we have to be very cautious with Bitcoin because, again, this could still easily roll over. We have this massive level of resistance that we've been talking about we've been talking about these 5 specifically for literal months, 4 or 5 months now. So, yeah, I mean, I want to get very, very bullish in the short term, but the only thing I'm holding out for basically is breaking above this range here and holding. Then maybe we can say this is invalidated. Again, I still think we have potential to go higher here over the next day, considering we're in the midst of a short-term micro breakout of this like 4 or 5 day pattern, but very big. If we can hold back above the 200-day now this will be our 3rd attempt, because we initially came above it, failed, then came back up above it, failed to hold it, and now this will be our 3rd attempt over the past, the entire month of August, basically. We've been teeter-tottering right here. We want to hold this because, again, we're potentially in danger of setting a head and shoulders pattern, and this is something that will play out over 1 to 2 weeks. It's not immediate, but we just need to be very cautious here because we're in a very critical spot. But again, as you can see, we're holding right now underneath this level. Breaking above 47 is a very good sign. Breaking above 48 and setting a new local high, very, very good, at which point we can say, okay, we are starting to see a shift in momentum. But keep in mind, we saw this momentum push up, and I can see that it's starting to potentially maybe want to pull back here. Hold 46K, that's our first very good step. If we hold 46K, if we revisit it here, okay, that's very good. But at this point, the bearish scenarios are still absolutely in play. So if you guys are new to the channel, make sure to like, subscribe, miss these absolutely time-sensitive alerts. If you're actually interested in trading ADA or any of these other top alts, you can check out the bonuses below. And without any further ado, that's it for me. Bye-bye.